It's 3 weeks since opposition fighters first dropped down from the Nafusa mountains onto the flat plains below. They'd swept Gaddafi forces off much of the high ground and made tentative gains at sea level. Until Sunday, this was the closest point that opposition fighters had reached on the road to Tripoli, under 100 kilometers or so to the outskirts of the capital. But since then, they've pushed on 15 or 20 kilometers down the road, where they've encountered Gaddafi forces and fought fierce battles over the past 2 days. Their objective, they say, is to try and push on beyond that, a little further to the town of Bir Ayyad. If indeed they can take and hold that town, that would represent a very significant advance, a bolt hole from which they could then regroup and decide whether to continue to Tripoli or cut across the desert, a far shorter route to the coastal town of Zawiya, where they might be able to link up with other opposition forces and cut off a vital supply route to the capital. But without the protection of the mountains, and with Gaddafi forces thought to be arrayed across both flanks on the plains, the new front line seems hard to defend. This was an opposition commander returning from the front.
We want to go to Zawiya. We want first to attack Zawiya, and if we control it, Tripoli is easy.
And once again, an appeal for more help from NATO in the skies.
We just hear about NATO, but we don't see them. They don't exist. Yesterday they only attacked once.
A captured and wounded Gaddafi soldier could provide information about force strength and positions still menacing mountain towns with frequent long-range missile attacks. Pushing them out of range is a priority. The towns and villages of the Nafusa region have already paid a high price in this war. While residents are returning to some parts, others remain vulnerable and deserted. Jonah, Al Jazeera in the Nafusa mountains.